5th that's going to talk about a possible new treatment for post-traumatic stress disorder. And I didn't realize that kids actually could be affected by this as well.
Yeah, this is a major breakthrough that is undergoing clinical research right now. We were just blown away by this procedure. It's called a stellate ganglion block. And it really speaks to the mind-body connection and how there are different approaches to treating PTSD, which unfortunately is very prevalent in our society. And it's an option. It's one modality that I think is showing a lot of promise, both in terms of the physiology and how it works, and also the applicability. It's what, a 5-minute procedure, right? I mean,
and it has so far great results. But the other thing I do love about our show is we talk about how this isn't really a disorder as much as it is post-traumatic stress injury. Right. And so many people do suffer from it. Many times they do it in the shadows. And what we try to highlight, not only in this episode, but I think always on our show, is that this is an injury a lot of people are dealing with. This particular treatment, although it's still in a trial stage, it could revolutionize how we treat this, and hopefully people aren't ashamed. If you're dealing with post-traumatic stress, you shouldn't be ashamed to talk with your physician about it.
Okay, great. Also, it's Diabetes Awareness Month, and you guys are going to be talking on the same day about a new book called The Diabetes Solution. Tell us a little bit about what you discovered with this new book.
Well, it's not just about the book as much as it is. We talk all the time on the show about people being the CEO of their own health, and diabetes is one of those illnesses where you really need to be on top of it. And we discuss in the show all the tools, tips, tricks, things you can do to help manage diabetes, keep your blood sugar at a stable level, because the complications of diabetes not only are life-threatening, there's so much morbidity associated with it, and the solutions really are easy if you apply them every day.
Right, and what it feeds into, Jen, is something that we are incredibly vocal about on the show, including Travis, is food as medicine, because
Sure.
so much of diabetes, and we're talking here about type 2 diabetes, is reversible, it's preventable. We are all at risk for this disorder living in the United States. So in terms of how to eat, how to cook your food properly, how to know what to order and what to buy when you're out of your home, all of that is covered, and that's something that we hit pretty hard on the show because it's so important to literally the entire country.
Absolutely. All right, and coming up on November 7th, you guys are going to be talking about something that affects anybody who's got a child old enough to use a cell phone, and that is, and it's scary to even think about this, app stalking. Tell us a little bit about what that actually means and what you discovered with some of your investigation with this report.
Well, this is an example of, again, the breadth of the medical and health information that we cover on the show. It's not just the physical, it's the social and the psychological and the emotional. And as a parent, I have 2 teenagers. They both have cell phones. This really hit hard and home for me. Very, very scary new social stalking apps that can be used very seemingly in a benign manner for children to really kind of integrate these child predators with your child. And I learned a lot of tips as a parent that even though I have a son who's 6 feet tall, trust me, I took them home and shared them with him.
Yeah.
Well, and everyone thinks it's going to be someone else's child who gets convinced. In this episode, we talk about how kids are getting convinced to send naked pictures of themselves to predators. And there's a lot of shame involved with it because these kids, in many cases, think that these are their friends. These predators are their friends, even though they've never met them, and they're very clever. So I encourage people to check into that episode because we have a lot of tips on how you can prevent that from happening to your kid.
Yeah, a lot of scary stuff and scary ways that people can trick not only kids but adults as well. So that'll be important to check out. And again, that's coming up on the 7th. And I think we have to wrap up here. So I wanted to say thank you so much for joining us. Always, every day, you guys have important information for every age group, demographic. So make sure you check out The Doctors. It airs weekdays right here on the CW Cincinnati at 11. Thank you.
Thanks, Jen.
Thanks, Jen.